Hello beautiful people, this is my very first video for this channel, which should be in general about life in IT or tech companies. And first I want to introduce myself because without having some tidbits about my career, let's say, it would be probably hard for you to believe me, watch me, relate to me. I've chosen quite a controversial topic, I would say, for the beginning, looking for a job in tech 2025, still January. But I'm in this situation right now. Basically, I'm at home 6 months looking for a job. And before you leave, I will stop you. Like for a senior role, it's quite common these days to look for a job half a year or up to a year. That's no biggie. Well, it is a biggie for me, obviously, as anyone of you. We just need money to get by, right? Okay, so who am I? Right now I'm a product designer. I'm usually working for big companies, and I either create products from scratch, which is pretty rare, let's say new versions of products from scratch, or I just improve the current UX of the product and work on some improvements, etc. I had 10 to 12 jobs in close to 20 years, more or less, in IT or tech. Began as a front-end developer, switched to a graphic designer. That was the first 10 years, let's say, and the last 10 years it's huge companies, products, and I'm not necessarily talking about names of those companies. Like my intention is to make this as general and relatable to any of you, to any field, to any salaries, to any life situations, let's say. And I have my website in the description below if you are curious to find out more. The next topic is current market situation as I see it. I would say the last couple of years, let's say 2 plus or minus, there have been many layoffs in tech companies around the world. The market is changing pretty much. Also, AI happened last year in a big bang, and many of you might think like, will I lose my job in 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years, or never? So that's definitely part of it as well. I will be talking about my situation, about my point of view, what I'm looking for, and it might be very different from what you are looking. I, by no means, want to pretend I'm some kind of guru who knows about things. I'm just giving my perspective on life in IT, and you either relate to it or not. Simple as that. So, and yeah, maybe last thing, like double check all the informations. Just don't accept something somebody tells you without any questions. I'm looking for a product designer job. You might be looking for a front-end developer job or any other job in tech. And we all know that the differences are whether it's for a senior role or junior role or something in the middle, and that will definitely change the conditions. I will focus mainly on senior roles, but I believe many of those informations I will tell you are applicable to wide audience and wide examples and situations while looking for a job. I would start with 3 things. everybody needs for applying a new job. It's a CV with a picture of yourself. Like having a picture in your CV is a must, in my opinion. Portfolio. You've done some kind of work and you need to be able to show it somehow, and it may differ from a product designer to a front-end developer to a manager or whatever, but you need to show somehow what you've been doing on. And sometimes there is a cover letter, which basically to me is kind of a nonsense. I think it makes sense only for a few cases, because speaking for myself, I need a job, I need money to get by, but you can't use that being hard on an interview. It would be a red flag. So cover letter, definitely worth spending some time on it, but I wouldn't put more than 2 paragraphs about it. And what I'm trying to do is be sincere about what I know about the company, why I chose it. I want, in general, to give impression about who am I. I could very easily prepare for an interview and be super agile and smiling all the time and whatever, but it wouldn't be me. And when I'm looking for a job, I want that they would like to hire me as a person for my character. With CV, I've done 10 to 12 jobs, as I said, and I don't have all of those in my CV. I choose only 3 the best I'm proud of, let's say, and the 3 I'm prepared to showcase. I have some case studies I'm able to send via email or as a link to Figma file, for instance. So my CV has only those 3 companies. Let's say some of my skills, some paragraph about me. I have a couple of hobbies there because personally I think it's worth putting it in your CV, because eventually when they find, let's say, 10 people out of 100 at the first time, and in these days in tech companies it's hundreds. Like I was hiring people a couple of times as well, and last year there were like 700 candidates for one role, for instance. But anyway, eventually you get to the selection of, let's say, 10 candidates which have more or less the same skills as you have. So in my opinion, in the end, it's about like, do we fit, culturally fit. That's something I will be talking about as well. Yeah, so that's the CV. And portfolio, that differs very much, I would say, depending on what job you are doing. For a designer, it's I would say much easier because you have images and I don't know, websites, applications, blah blah. So it's easy to show that. For a front-end developer, it could be basically the same, but you are not talking about how you created the visuals, but how you created the code. So it's, I don't know, responsive for any platform, it is accessible and whatever, blah blah blah. But more or less you will have probably the same amount of showcases you can talk about, just from a different angle. So yeah, that's the basics. Another topic is the hiring process itself, and it can differ very much. In small companies, it could be a coffee, a lunch, or an online interview with one person, and this one interview will immediately decide. But it could be from the opposite side, an interview for or to a huge company, and it could be like 5 rounds. Typically the first one with some HR person, Uh, the other one happens to be usually with your potential manager. The next one is with a team. Then very often you are given some kind of task, either offline and you have some days to do it, or it could be even like in real time during the interview, or if it's a face-to-face meeting, they could leave you be in some meeting room and give you an hour to do something, then come back and immediately see your results, where you present why you did ABC. And I have to say, this is my favorite. I don't like the offline ones. Like the real time is the most stressful one, I know that. But especially from the perspective of I hire someone, I will see how they react in a stressful situation, and that's more valuable to me than leaving a week of time to somebody to work on it on their own, and then have a presentation or something like that. Then we need to talk about the differences, whether you are hired for a small company or a huge company, or we could just differ it. Is it an agency or is it a one product company? Agency, as I look at it, is typically a company where you have many projects. They are, let's say, midterm usually, and you are switching between projects quite a lot. So I would say in agencies, it is more about quantity, not necessarily without quality in these days. And the opposite is one big product company where you are working on one product, or not complete product even. You are working on part of the product for many years. So that's a condition. Small versus huge companies, and I would say like small companies versus corporates, let's say. In small companies, you may allow yourself to be you much more. For corporates, there are certain expectations of you, and mainly it is about storytelling and presentation of your work. Use cases, they often ask about, I don't know, big obstacle or fail, and how you dealt with it, things like that. So it's definitely, I would say, different field, whether you are hired for a company with 5 people or 10,000. Yeah, I will leave her in the video. Another difference is startups. Okay, maybe I won't leave her in the video. Fuck off. And the last part, what is most important for me, is making educated guess based on the number of interviews and the very short time we have together, me as a hiree and the potential employer, to try to guess what is the company culture. Like, do I fit? Will I have possibly friends? Will I be able to relate to those people? As well as are there people which can inspire me, I can learn from, and things like that. So for me, the most important things when I decide what company I would like to join are 3 pillars. Again, subjective: money, the product, and the people. Unfortunately, guessing whether you will fit culturally, whether you will be able to relate to those people around you in your new team, this is the least reliable factor. So it leaves the product and the money. And in terms of money, I'm not talking about like who will give me the most, I will go there. It could be like that for you. I've probably done that at some period of my life as well. But today I have some minimum. I need to satisfy my needs, my expenses. I have a family, kids, mortgage, like many of you. So I have a minimum, and so usually I say a range from two. So that's the money part, and that is really, really important. Like everybody knows that. The second part is the product. Like I will be working on something for years, so the product has to speak to me somehow, and I have to see a possibility that I would enjoy working on a product like that. And it could be like this product is small and I will be bored pretty quickly, or this tool is so complex I won't be able to understand it even in 3 years. I mentioned company cultures, and that is, I would say, in these days politically sensitive topic, but it matters. And I had experience working mainly with Americans, mainly with Germans, mainly with Swedish people, for instance, and obviously with Czech people. So I think I've experienced a lot of different cultures. And as you know, the huge companies which are worldwide, they are usually very multicultural, which I prefer as a designer, definitely. The more variety between people, cultures, and opinions, the best product we can build. My subjective opinion. So in those huge companies, no matter what the leadership background is, like American, Germans, Swedish, or whatever, you will meet all other cultures in there, like Latin America, India, Asia, a lot of in Europe there are a lot of let's say Slavic speaking people, Czechia, Slovakia, Poland, Ukraine, etc. So just bear that in mind. You have probably an opinion on working with this culture or the different culture, what is more preferable for you. In general, you won't avoid working with different kind of cultures in a huge company. The next topic is picking the right time for choosing a new job, at least if you can pick. What happened to me, I couldn't. It was kind of layoff, and it happened to me for the first time in my 20 years career. Usually when I'm ready to move on, let's say, I'm choosing the company while still working at the current one, probably like majority of you. And I do the switch smoothly from work to work, and on Friday begin on Monday, because maybe like many of you, I'm doing from paycheck to paycheck, so I can't afford any bigger holidays in between. So if you can choose, I would definitely recommend avoiding summertime, because mostly everybody's on holidays. It's hard to get people in the same room for those meetings and interviews. And I would avoid the end of the year as well, where holidays or Christmas for some are coming, and it's basically the same but in a shorter period of time. Also, usually it's driven by how fiscal years at companies work, and in average there are ending, beginning, let's say February, typically. So that's the time where new budgets are decided and the new year of hiring begins. So I would say the best time for searching a company is basically from February to end of May or something like that. That would be the best time. If you are in a situation like me, that you are at home for a couple of months already, the most important part, in my opinion, is staying mentally healthy. So I won't have any general advices for that. Well, maybe a couple, but everybody is different. Everybody works different. So for me, it was like I was absolutely sure that I will find a new job maximum in 6 months. Unfortunately, I started just before the summer holidays, and I was instantly like working on my CV portfolio, contacting companies, going to interviews. But during the summertime, it was pretty weak, and it came back late September, I would say, and before Christmas it went down again. And staying mentally healthy was tough at some times, I would say. At the point where I accepted that this time it won't take me just 6 months or so, I started doing various projects and that kept me busy. This is, by the way, one of those projects. Okay, so what's coming next? I'm reading from my phone. I have many topics for other videos I would like to make. Hopefully I will make those before I will get employed, because right now I have plenty of time. So I've covered finding a new job. I would like to look at the topic of company culture in detail, specifically design culture, since I'm a designer. Front-end dev culture as well, since I began as a front-end developer. So I work with front-end developers most of the time. I could go in detail into hiring possibly, but I kind of covered it in this one. Another very trendy topic, I would say, late years in huge companies is giving and receiving feedback. I could talk about leading workshops. I could talk about how to handle one-on-ones with your manager, or one-on-ones with your colleagues when things are not going that well, let's say. Another topic I would like to cover is creating goals and their review with your manager. I would like to talk about product life cycle process, basically methodologies, how company works, agile, Kanban, whatever. Maybe I will talk about roadmap planning, understanding strategies of your companies and why is it important for you, even though it's boring and you think I don't care. I was like that a long time, until I realized it's really important to understand strategies of your company. And last but not least, what I have written in here, for instance, all hands meeting and other types of meetings in tech companies. With that said, I'm definitely curious on what you think about those topics, what would interest you. You can leave some comments below, definitely. And until next time, stay true.